European History for Absolute Dummies. Chapter 1. European History Timeline. Hello everyone. Did you just feel sleepy hearing the title? Don't worry, stay with me. This isn't a boring lecture. Think of it as a story about humans being awesome, messy, and curious for a few thousand years. Let's roll the tape of Europe's journey together. Ancient Greece. Before Europe became Europe, it started as a few smart people asking big questions like, what is justice? And what if we thought for ourselves? They built democracy, philosophy, and math. Basically, they invented thinking. It was the spark that lit the Western world. The Roman Empire. The Greeks thought, the Romans built. They made roads, aqueducts, and laws that connected the Mediterranean like one big neighborhood. Their empire stretched so far that people joked the Mediterranean Sea was a Roman lake. Rome became the Wi-Fi of the ancient world. Everyone was connected. Middle Ages. Rome collapses, chaos ensues. Religion guides kingdoms, church shares power. Knights defend honor. Castles dominate landscape in age of faith. Wars, plagues prevail. Darkness lays foundation for future Europe. Renaissance, a massive reset occurs. People admire Greece and Rome, celebrate human achievements. Artists, scientists thrive. Da Vinci paints, Galileo studies stars. Renaissance is a parade of geniuses. Modern era. Europe reinvents itself. French Revolution promotes liberty, equality, fraternity. Factories roar, new nations arise. Kings topple, ordinary people pursue big dreams. Science and industry drive progress. Contemporary era, power leads to big conflicts. Two world wars devastate continent, millions lost. Never again becomes Europe's promise. Europe unites, forming European Union. Cooperation triumphs over conquest. Meet the people who lived and shaped this journey. They made the impossible possible. History isn't made by dates. It's made by people, dreamers, fighters, and thinkers. Here are 8 legends who changed the course of Europe forever. 1. Alexander the Great, 4th century BC. A young king from Macedonia who thought the world wasn't big enough. By 20, he ruled Greece. By 30, he ruled from Egypt to India. He didn't just conquer, he connected cultures. It's harder to understand an enemy than to defeat one. 2. Hannibal Barca, 3rd century BC, Rome's ultimate nightmare. This Carthaginian general took war elephants over the Alps, through snow, ice, and madness. His strategy terrified Rome and inspired generals for centuries. Do what your enemy thinks you can't. 3. Julius Caesar, 1st century BC, the man who broke the Republic and changed the world. A brilliant general, a persuasive speaker, and yes, a hopeless romantic. His affair with Cleopatra wasn't just love. It was politics, power, and ambition in one explosive mix. His death paved the way for the Roman Empire. Et tu, Brute, words that still echo through history. 4. Charlemagne, 8th to 9th century. After Rome fell, Europe was a jigsaw puzzle of tiny kingdoms. Charlemagne, king of the Franks, put the pieces back together. He built schools, promoted learning, and united people through faith and education. To read is to know the mind of God. 5. Joan of Arc, 15th century. A teenage girl who heard the voice of God and changed the course of France. She led armies, won battles, and inspired a nation during the 100 Years' War. Burned at the stake, she became a symbol of faith and courage. The heart that believes is stronger than any sword. 6. Martin Luther, 16th century. A monk with a hammer and a message. He nailed his 95 Theses to a church door, challenging corruption in the Catholic Church. That moment sparked the Protestant Reformation and reshaped European faith forever. Faith lives not in the church, but in the heart. 7. Leonardo da Vinci, 15th to 16th century. Artist, inventor, scientist, the ultimate Renaissance man. He painted the Mona Lisa, designed flying machines, and filled notebooks with dreams of the future. Curiosity is what lifts us toward the sky. 8. Napoleon Bonaparte, 18th to 19th century. A poor boy from Corsica who conquered half of Europe. He rose through brilliance, ambition, and sheer willpower. The word impossible isn't in my dictionary. His Napoleonic Code still forms the legal backbone of modern Europe. Summary. Alexander expanded the world. Hannibal redefined war. Caesar and Cleopatra changed power and passion. Charlemagne rebuilt Europe through learning. Joan of Arc led through belief. Luther gave faith new meaning. Da Vinci pushed the limits of knowledge. Napoleon shaped the modern age. Chapter 3. Faith and Power when the Church ruled the world. Now, let's turn to the hidden power of medieval Europe, the real boss behind kings and knights, the Church. In the early Middle Ages, there was someone even more powerful than any king, the Pope of Rome. As the representative of God on earth, even mighty rulers had to bow their heads before him. The humiliation of Canossa when an emperor begged for mercy. One of the most famous events from this era is the humiliation of Canossa. In the 11th century, Emperor Henry IV of the Holy Roman Empire clashed with Pope Gregory VII over one big question: who had the right to appoint bishops? The emperor said, "I do. They serve in my empire." The Pope replied, "Wrong. They serve God." And the fight began. The Pope excommunicated Henry, basically kicking him out of the Christian community. In medieval Europe, that meant political death. Nobles turned their backs on him, and Henry had no choice but to climb a snowy mountain barefoot to beg for forgiveness. That moment, known as the humiliation of Canossa, showed that even an emperor had to kneel before the Church. The Crusades, when faith united Europe. Meanwhile, far beyond Europe, a new power was rising: the Islamic world. Muslim empires were expanding rapidly, bringing science, trade, and culture to new heights. Eventually, they took control of Jerusalem, the holy city that Christians, Jews, and Muslims all held sacred. When word spread that the Holy Land was under Islamic control, Europe was shocked. The Pope called on all believers: take up the cross, reclaim the holy city in the name of God. And so, the Crusades began. Kings, knights, and commoners from across Europe joined massive military expeditions called Crusades, journeys of faith and battle. The First Crusade achieved some success, but as the campaigns went on, second, third, fourth, things got messy. Long wars, lack of money, and internal rivalries took their toll. What began as a holy mission slowly turned into a struggle for wealth and glory. And after centuries of fighting, Europe still failed to hold the Holy Land. People began to wonder, if God is truly on our side, why do we keep losing? That doubt marked the beginning of the Church's decline in power. The Anagni incident, when the king took the upper hand. The final blow came in the early 14th century with the Anagni incident. Pope Boniface VIII clashed with King Philip IV of France over money. Philip wanted to tax the church to fund his wars. Boniface furiously declared, "Even a king is beneath God." But the age of unquestioned papal power was ending. Philip sent soldiers to Italy, where they captured and humiliated the Pope in his own palace at Anagni. The man once seen as God's voice on earth was now a prisoner of a king. Boniface was eventually freed, but died soon after, broken in spirit. From that moment, the church's authority began to crumble. Europe was shifting from a world ruled by faith to one ruled by kings, reason, and human ambition. No longer was everything decided by divine will. Now, human reason and curiosity began to shape the world. This new way of thinking would soon lead to the Renaissance, the rise of nations, and a completely new vision of humanity. European history isn't about kings and battles. It's about the human story, how we think, dream, love, and keep going. From the age of gods to the age of humans, from power to wisdom, from conflict to cooperation. And if you manage to stay awake through all of that, congratulations. You now know more about Europe than most Europeans. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and brag to your friends about it. Thank you for watching.